The scale of suffering in Syria has reached unprecedented levels. That's according to the United Nations, as a wave of fresh bombardments continue in rebel-held areas. The UN Security Council on Thursday rejected an appeal from aid officials for a month-long ceasefire to end what they describe as an extreme situation. More than 240 civilians are thought to have been killed in the besieged areas of eastern Ghouta and Idlib this week after 5 straight days of bombing by Syrian government warplanes and artillery. Well, we're joined by Panos Moumtzis, Assistant Secretary General of the United Nations and the UN's Regional Humanitarian Coordinator for Syria. Thank you very much for coming in. An unprecedented scale of devastation, so many hundreds of thousands of people displaced, killed, and you're calling for a ceasefire.
Absolutely. The situation really is quite extreme at the moment. In between Idlib, where we have seen a massive displacement of more than 300,000 people just in the last 6 weeks from southern Idlib to the central parts, but also the besiegement in East Ghouta, where over 400,000 people, some 400,000 people have been really living in their extreme situations. We have more than 700 medical cases of people that need to live out. We haven't been able to bring humanitarian assistance in the besieged or hard-to-reach places for now over 2 months. So it's a situation that cannot continue any longer. Really, we have reached a point where we feel enough is enough. It's a time to think and act in a way that protection of civilians is ensured, women and children who are in desperate situation receive assistance, and the injured are able to come out.
Just last year, the UN only got access to 27% of its requests to get access to opposition areas by the Syrian government. The UN is failing miserably in terms of getting a grip on this.
I would say what is really happening at the moment, there is a failure of humanitarian diplomacy. There is a failure to bring really a solution to a problem that has been going on for 7 years. It's a country that has been seriously affected. 13 million people are in need, more than 6 million people internally displaced. It's a situation that is extremely difficult. We're able to help about 7.5 million people every month through a program that we have, a regular program assistance and inside Syria and cross-border from neighboring countries. What we are unable to do is really reach the people who are in the most desperate need, in besieged areas and hard-to-reach areas. And this is why we feel we're raising our voice, because really something needs to change. We cannot continue like this, not being able to reach the most vulnerable of the most vulnerable within Syria.
But as you said, this has been going on for 7 years. You've had much time to raise your voice. Are you not putting enough pressure on the regime to get access, to drive humanitarian aid to those people that need it?
At the moment, as humanitarian actors, of course, we are in contact with the government of Syria. We're in contact with every single government capital that we can think that can be of help to help us to reach these people who are in desperate situation. This is not happening. This is not moving any further. Last year, we reached about a quarter of what we should have done on the cross line from within Syria operations. Since 2 months, this has come to a complete halt, and that cannot continue any longer. It cannot be business as usual. The reports, the pictures, the images we're getting every day, whether it's from East Ghouta or even Idlib, are really quite dramatic. Health facilities should not be targeted. Civilians should not be targeted.
But if the UN, realistically, how effective can you be if you have Russia continuously supporting Assad? What can you genuinely do?
Well, as humanitarian actors, we always say that a humanitarian response cannot be a problem, a solution to what is actually a political problem. What needs to happen is the political will, the commitment, the conscience of politicians and of governments to bring the pressure so there is an improvement to people's lives in these situations. Besiegement, conflict is definitely not a way forward. What we need to see is a ceasefire for us to be able to bring humanitarian assistance and also to take out the medical cases of people whose life is really on the line.
Yes, desperately needed. Panos Moumtzis, Assistant Secretary General of the UN, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.